welcome back to more Lord of the Rings Online. I'm here in the Lone Lands, and I am in search of another ranger here, one who we have met previously at the foot of Weathertop. So let me go and find Candith, and he should be right up this way. It feels good to be back in the main content of Lord of the Rings Online. I've missed playing the game while I've been editing the previous seasons and recording some of the festivals and just kind of trying to clean things up in general. Anyways.
So, the time has come at last.
To stand with Aragorn, son of Arathorn, my lord, and the chieftain of the Dunedain. In my heart, I knew the day would come, for as the shadows have lengthened, the need for Aragorn to accept his mantle has become all the more pressing. I have come to love the lands between the Forsaken Inn and the Last Bridge, and it will grieve me to leave them, but I will do so. I will join the Grey Company and travel south, as you have asked. While I make ready to leave, will you retrieve the hidden cache of supplies I prepared some time ago? I left a sword, some gloves, and a few other supplies northeast of here, atop the small rise called Sul, in the shade of a tree. Recover this cache and bring it to me, for I will have need of it in the lands to the south. Alright, let me head out. Pretty sure I've said this multiple times in the past, but I really like these quests that ask me to revisit some of these old areas which you thought you never would be back to. It's very nostalgic riding here through the plains of the Lone Lands once more. Alright, and what have we here? We have this guy, an unsavory gentleman, stands where you thought to find the hidden cache. Orkstulug. Let me prepare for battle with him.
Looks like you might be easy pickings.
What are you looking at? It seems to me that these lands should be big enough for you to find a path that takes you out of my sight, little hobbit. Orkstulug follows your gaze and smirks. You like the sword? Found it, I did. And these gloves and a few choice other items. Sometimes you find these little caches in the wild left by rangers, I suspect. Easy pickings, if you ask me. Looks like you might be easy pickings too. I'll be taking your gear and your coins, friend, without a fight or with one. It is all the same to me. Die. Nice. Orkstulug falls his robbery failure, and you retrieve Candith's goods. I like this Maladrim reputation steed that I got. I think it's very nice. I like that golden saddle on it. Here's a brave young adventurer, still level 27.
I'm pleased to have these items back. Thank you.
I would have been willing to part with these contents of the cache, Kippen. Items hidden in the wild, once found, should go to their finders. But once Orkstulug sought to use my items to rob you, as far as I'm concerned, he gave up the right to them. I am pleased to have them back. Thank you. That's an interesting code of honor. Even if it's a malevolent person, he would be okay with them taking it as long as they're not posing any immediate evil with the items. Anyways. So I'll take this because I can map to Breland on my own.
You will have need of Sauron's calming wisdom on the road south.
So I can reforge, it looks like. You should next bring your message to Sauron in Breland. He is more settled than some others of my kin, but no less a vital part of the Grey Company. We will have need of Sauron's calming wisdom on the road south. For though we have need of haste, so too do we need to keep our wits about us. Too often can the hasty road lead to carelessness. Sauron will help us prevent this. Look for him at his cabin near the town of Bree in Breland. He lives east of Thornley's worksite in the northern Bree fields. Kenneth gives you a wistful smile. It is true, we don't know what we will find as we ride south. I look out over the Lone Lands and wonder what will happen to them once we have gone. But this is something we must do. Each of us has sworn an oath to Aragorn, our chief, and none of us will break that oath. We know the risks. None of us would join the Grey Company if we felt its errand was not important enough to brave those risks. For my part, I will not give in to fear of the unknown. We all have our role to play, and I hope only that when I have played mine, the world will have been a better place for my having been in it. Alright. So let me go ahead and go to Bree. Now, before I head out north, let me head south real quick.
Greetings.
Just so I can reforge my legendary weapon that leveled up. That way I can get experience with it as I finish some of the quests in this episode. Alright. Sorry I was messing with something while the pony was going. Anyways, let me forge here.
How can I be of service?
I'll just take that, I guess. Alright, anyways. Now I will go back north.
What can I do for you?
I don't think there's another pony that takes me up there, is there? I don't think so. I think let's just go to Westbury. Get on my horse and I'll just ride north out of town. So Círdan, you may remember him as well. He's another ranger that I've helped out in the past. Now, I do want to say a lot of you guys were complaining about the audio level in the previous few seasons, and I will admit that my audio balancing was not the best. The music was a little bit overpowering. I do like to show off the music in the game, so I try to keep it as loud as possible, but there were times where it was just kind of hard to understand my commentary because the music was so overpowering. So I've adjusted some of the levels, and hopefully you guys notice a difference in the positive direction. I don't know if he's atop the hill or right under it. I think he's actually right in here. There we go. There's this cabin. You have done well in defeating Ivar the Bloodhand.
Aragorn has need of us, and that is all we need know.
I see, Kippen. I will travel south with as many of the Dunedain as can be gathered in haste. Círdan looks at you wistfully around the yard. I fear for the people of this land, Kippen, without the Dunedain to protect them. Great numbers of an unruly sort have already come to Bree, and the brigands of the countryside will have no want for members while the rangers are not around to keep their ranks in check. I will make ready to depart. While I do so, will you speak with Barliman at the Prancing Pony? He does not think much of rangers, but I would have you ask him to take special care of the inn and the town for the next several months, if it comes to that. He will not understand, but I want him to have at least some warning that the troubles may lie in store for Bree. Alright, and my cooldown is not ready for me to return there just yet. In fact, I think he could actually send me places. No. Candith encampment, that's interesting. Isn't Candith in... Didn't I just speak with him in the Lowlands? I don't know. I'm a little bit confused. That's alright. I'll just head back into Bree. Like there's a concert going on here. Oh, it's my kinship. It's my kinship's orchestra playing here in the Bree Fields. Nice. The Runic Knights Orchestra, for those who are wondering, on the Brandywine server.
Will you look at me, going on and on like this?
That fellow Círdan does come to the pony from time to time, and we do talk about the state of things in Bree. Not as often as I'd like, of course. For every moment of peace, there are 10 things that need doing, and no way to make them all fit in the time available. Still, I do what I can, and wouldn't trade the pony for anything. Folks say Círdan's a ranger, but if he is, he's more respectable than most. Has a cabin just near Bree, you know. and even spares a smile for his neighbors, which is more than I've seen from some of the others of his kind. Will you look at me going on and on like this? There's no time for idle chatter. Not cheddar. There's always time for cheddar cheese, but no time for idle chatter. There are foodstuffs sitting in one of the parlors that need to be brought out for some preparing. Will you go and fetch some of them? Apples, pears, mushrooms. You'll see the crate, you will. And you'll be a big help if you hurry. Alright. Where did he say that was? I have no idea. Foodstuffs from a crate in the pony. One of the parlors. I'm assuming it's somewhere tucked in the back. Maybe down here somewhere. There we go. Cozy little room back here. Very good, very good. This plate of fruit is just a thing. Now bring me the next goods. I'm assuming it's in the same thing here. It looks like I'm carrying some mushrooms. That plate of mushrooms smells terrible. Or maybe it's you. You guys are a jerk. Smell these fine mushrooms. These will be delicious. Now bring me the next goods. Looks like I got some pumpkin. That pumpkin looks too heavy for your weak arms. The guy really has nothing better to do. What a help you have been. I simply have not had the time.
Some rude types have come to Bree lately.
Thank you. You've been a great help to me today, and I won't forget it. So much to do, so very much to do, and you're welcome to stay as long as you like. Join the company, sing a song, warm yourself by the fire. Parliament pauses and his eyes pass briefly over the crowd. There's one more thing, actually, Kippen, he says in a hushed tone. There have been a few rude types come Bree lately, and they've been scaring off some of the townsfolk who like to come to the pony of a night. Regular visitors, you know, good folk who come by for the spot of ale and some cheer. Do you think you might have a word with the fellow at the table there? Uchtrude, I think his name is, and he's a coarse sort. Maybe you can encourage him to finish his mug of beer and find somewhere else to go for the night? Only he hasn't rented any lodgings here, and just as soon as he took his loud friend somewhere else. I would tell him myself, but there's so much to do. I've cut 3 bales of leaf this morning, and how many did that full goat leaf cut? 4? The whole day long. Anyways, here's this unsavory character. He certainly does look a little bit unsavory. He's got some battle scars on his eye. Anyway.
There'll be changes around here, I don't mind telling you.
What did you say to me? I have as much as right as to be on this table as anyone here. More so, once the rest of my friends get here. Oh, there will be changes around here, I don't mind telling you. Uchtrude scowls at you. Are you still here? You've made me mad, and now you're going to pay for it. I will see you outside by the north gate of Bree. If you have any courage at all, we won't be bothered there. I'll teach you a lesson about respecting Uchtrude and his boys. A lesson his whole town is going to have to learn. I will see you outside, and we will settle this. Excellent, a bar fight. Always wanted to get asked to go outside in the bar and scrap it out. I'm just kidding, but it's what I'm about to do, at least in video game land. So it looks like he's all the way in the north of town. Let me head up there. Should be around here somewhere. Let me open up the map. I guess he's on the other side of the hedge. There he is.
There'll there'll be changes around here, I don't mind telling you.
I didn't think you'd show, Kippen. We're going to own this town in a couple of weeks, and that fat innkeeper there will have to beg for table scraps from Uchtrude and his boys. Just like you'll need to beg for mercy in a few moments. Hobbits, if I may even grant it. And then again, I may not. Uchtrude begs for mercy. Círdan was right. Trouble is headed for Bree. One of us is weak, and that one of us is strong. Alright, let me talk to Círdan. He's a good 600 meters that way. Now, this is something I've been meaning to ask you guys. I've been getting increasingly paranoid that I'm gonna lose all the videos I've uploaded if YouTube ever comes crashing down or some crazy copyright claim gets made against my channel or something ridiculous like that. So I was wondering if any of you tech-savvy people know a good way to back up all these videos in some way or another, or to extract them from YouTube. Back in the day, when I first started the channel, I used to keep hard copies of all my videos on external hard drives, but that quickly became an unfeasible task just because there were so many hundreds of gigabytes of videos that it was getting very expensive to buy hard drives. And then on top of that, one of the hard drives crashed, and then another one, and I'm like, man, I'm trying to store these videos long term, but if hard drives are just going to keep on crashing, this is not a very good alternative. So if you guys know a way for me to extract all these videos from YouTube easily and store them somewhere else as well, just as backup, let me know. Anyways, sorry about the sidetrack there.
I was right to worry then.
I feared it was so. Very few of these people know that the safety they feel is the result of the tireless work of the Dunedain. And yet our road must take us south into the lands far away from the well-meaning proprietor of the Prancing Pony. He may not trust rangers, but my people are no less fond of him and his simple way of life than they are of their own sons and daughters. I hope his town and his inn will remain safe until we return, if return we can. So I'm actually going to take the map to the Shire for this one.
Holros loves the Shire and its people.
I will take it upon myself to gather several others of the Dunedain that may be found within Breeland, and you should make your way to the Shire. At a camp by the green fields, you should find Harlos. Harlos loves the Shire and its people and has watched over them for many years. It may not be easy for him to leave them, even upon the errand as urgent as that of the Grey Company. Alright, so Harlos has got to be one of my favorite rangers because he's the one based in the Shire and protecting the Shire. And of course, as a Hobbit Warden, he has to have a special place within my character. You may remember him all the way back from Season 1. In the green fields and his camp. Scary. How long has it been since we've been in Scary? And the quarry here in Scary. Man, very nostalgic. There is Harlos, with a few slain goblins at his feet.
There are troublemakers loose in the Green Hill country.
Welcome, Kippen. So long as there are goblins beneath the green fields, I will maintain my watch over the Shire. That is my duty, given to me by my chieftain Aragorn. Harlos listens intently as you tell him of the need of the Grey Company to assemble and ride south. I see, Kippen. I need time to prepare. I had been just about to deal with a particular matter when you arrived. If you can take care of it for me, that will give me time to set things in order. There are troublemakers loose on the road that runs through the Green Hill country. I fear they may do some real harm before they can be stopped. Can you walk the road and visit the town of Stock, ending the threat of the troublemakers there? I fear that they may be brigands or worse, and these are more bold than they have been in the past. Return to me, and then we can talk again. Okay, so there's a troublemaker in Green Hill country, and then another one in Stock itself. God, I can't make that jump. Look at that nice Shire rainbow. It's pretty nice. $1,000 meters. That's crazy. Where's this at? It's all the way in stock, and then there's one a little bit to the west of it. Unfortunately, there's no pony here for me to take to another town, so I'll just have to ride it out all the way through and through. So now that I'm through Moria and through Mirkwood, I feel like I've passed a lot of the big milestones in the game. And I can feel like I'm actually making some really good progress now. I may have reached the halfway point, I really don't know. Because on my main character, I only ever made it up to Helm's Deep, so I really have no idea how much more content there is after that. I know there's all of Gondor, and then the Moria expansion, and Northern Mirkwood, and all this stuff, but I have no idea how long it's going to take me to get through that, or how much content there is in each of those regions. But one thing is certain, though, there's still a ridiculous amount of content to get through, so this Lord of the Rings adventure is going to keep going for years to come, I believe. Guess I'm going to have to cross the river here. Let me figure out what these troublemakers are. So here in stock. Let's see if I can find anything. Oh, there's a brigand. Looks like he's about to harass these fine little hobbit homeowners.
You'll be in for a fight if you mess with me and my gang.
Hey, I've got orders from up top that says I can do what I like in these lands, and I plan to do just that. I fancy this house, and no hobbit is going to stand in my way neither. It's too small to live in, but I could use it to store my haul, and my boys plan on getting in the next several weeks. You best be moving along if you know what's good for you. Stand in my way, will ya? You won't again. That did it, hooray. You win, just stop hitting me. Alright, let me head on over to the hill country. Over that way. Another 1,000 meters or so. Man, and then I'm gonna have to ride all the way back to the green fields. It's gonna be quite a ride. Really liking all my new equipment. I'm really excited about my first stage weapon. Look what a beast this thing is. It's awesome. It's gonna be a little disappointing though when, oh no, got carried away looking at my weapon and I fell into water. That's alright. But yeah, it's gonna be a little bit disappointing when I level up to 76 and immediately outdate my weapon. That's alright. I think next time around is level 85 when I'm gonna forge a new first stage weapon. So, I'm gonna get some pretty good use out of this club. Do you guys remember this? This is literally where I started the game. I think my character started right here. If you remember, the Bounder was patrolling the road and the Ringwraith came and you had Frodo and Merry and Pippin and Sam. But anyways, looks like another brigand is harassing some hobbits.
You'll be in for a fight if you mess with me and my gang.
You better be careful, you. I've got friends making plans in the hills around here, and these halflings aren't included in them. You'll be in for a fight if you mess with me and me gang. Alright, let me dismount and get ready for combat. You're going to regret tangling with me. You can't scare us. Looks like you stirred up trouble in the wrong place. Ouch, leave me alone. I won't bother you vermin anymore. Alright, so let me go back to Harlos, all the way in the north. How far is that? 1,300 meters. That's quite a long ways away. Aw, man, I got super lost. I overshot my target completely. That's alright. I'm impressed I made it this close to him, I guess. You know, it's weird riding by all these black bears in the green fields, because they're just kind of sprinkled here or there, you know, and you don't really think much of it. But could you imagine just like riding past a black bear in real life like this? There's just dozens of them all throughout. It'd be terrifying. Black bears are vicious.
Can you help me make this decision?
Thank you, Kippen. There have been more troublemakers on the road in recent days, and I fear that they will do some harm in the peace-loving folk in the Shire if I travel south with the Grey Company. And yet, my loyalty is to Aragorn, and I know that if he has need of the Dunedain, it is my duty to go with him with as much speed as can be mustered. I do not know what to do, Kippen. What do you advise? Can you help me make this decision? Alright, so here, you have an option. You can only complete one of these. Harlow should go, or Harlow should stay. So, let's bring up the cases for each.
You are right. I will stay and watch over the people of the Shire.
You think I should stay here in the Shire? It is true that with many of the Dunedain leaving, these lands will likely come under threat. Who will protect the little folk? These hobbits I have come to admire and cherish. They have a court of strength, it is true, but the shadows are lengthening, and it seems to me that they creep ever closer to the Shire. I have walked of a time with Aragorn and the wizard Gandalf at Sarn Ford, and they both spoke oft of their love of its people. I do not think that they would wish the Shire to be undefended. Thank you for helping me make up my mind, Kippen. I will stay here and watch over the people of the Shire. The Great Company will need to do without my help. Can you travel to the inn at Brockenborings and tell my friend Lotho Sackville Baggins that I have decided to stay? He is visiting Brockenborings for a few days and showed some interest in my comings and goings. So that is the availability if you were to ask him to stay. If you ask him to go...
You are right. My fate lies on the southern road.
You think I should travel south with the Great Company to come to the aid of Aragorn? He is my chieftain, and it is my duty to see that he comes safely to the end of his road wherever it lies, but I fear for the folk of the Shire in my absence. How will they protect themselves from the evils that crowd their borders from all sides? Arlos looks out about his camp with new resolve. No, you're right, Kippen, there is strength in these hobbits yet, and if they need to repel dangers from the outside, they will do so. My fate must lie on the southern road. I will stand with Aragorn, and that is the way I will protect the people of this land. Thank you for helping me make up my mind, Kippen. I will go with the Great Company. The good folk of the Shire will need to do without my help. Can you travel to the inn at Brockenborings and tell my friend Lotho Sackville Baggins that I will be leaving? He is visiting Brockenborings for a few days and showed some interest in my comings and goings. So here, you have short-sighted people, and no offense to you if this is the decision you make, but the short-sighted people will ask Carlos to stay. That way he can protect the Shire and all the halflings. But if you're thinking a few moves ahead of time, you know that whatever danger befalls Aragorn and the Grey Company, it's important that they succeed in their mission, because if they fail, eventually that evil will spread to the Shire and it will be doomed regardless. So the best way to protect the Shire is to actually have Halros go and be with the Grey Company and assist them in their tasks. So that is the decision that I am going to be making. There is something you guys need to be aware of though. This quest is very, very important, because depending on what decision you make, it will affect the epic storyline later on, much later on in the game. So I don't want to spoil anything, but if you really need to know if there's a better decision to make compared to another, you may want to do a little bit of research before you make up your mind here. Anyways, let me go ahead and accept this one. And then I shall travel to Brockenborings, which is not that far away. Alright, the inn is all the way up here. Man, I'm making a mess. I was trying to reach for my phone and I knocked over an empty drink can. I'm sure you heard that. The reason I'm going for my phone is because I want to pull up the quest dialogue if I were to speak with him, if I had chosen the other quest. That way you just kind of know what he would say. So give me just a second. Okay, so if you had actually wanted him to stay, if you talk with Lotho now, he would say, "What do you want? You have a message from the ranger?" Lotho scowls as you tell him that Haros has decided to remain in the Shire for the unforeseeable future. "Yes, well, I'm sure you have places you need to be. I, for one, do not have the time to stand around talking with every hobbit that comes along. That ranger can do as he likes. It is nothing to me what he does, so long as he stays out of my way."
That ranger will be leaving the Shire? Very interesting.
What's that you say? The ranger will be leaving the Shire for a time? That's very interesting. Thank you for letting me know, friend. That is a shame, of course. Of course it is. Okay. So let me return and talk to Haros once more. Didn't realize how close to town he was. Okay, so here again, if you had asked him to stay, he would say, "What is that you say?" Lotho sounded disappointed that I would be staying. That's odd. He sought me out a few days ago and had many questions to ask. If I had any plans to travel into Breland, whether I thought to visit certain townships in the Shire, that sort of thing. I assumed he would be pleased to know that I would be around. In any event, my mind is put to ease, and I know that I will be able to protect the hobbits in the Shire in the coming weeks. I think Aragorn will understand. Thank you, Kippen. Of course, that's not the choice I made, so let me see what he's actually going to say about going.
Thank you for helping me to decide.
What is that you say? Lotho sounded pleased that I would be leaving. That is queer. He sought me out a few days ago. He had many questions to ask if I had any plans to leave into Breland, whether I thought to visit any townships in the Shire, that sort of thing. Well, he and his folk will surely be fine without my protection. It pains me to leave them be, but if Aragorn has need of his kin must ride to his aid. Thank you for helping me decide, Kippen. So somewhat similar dialogue here. Alright, I will take this.
Your next journey should take you to Esteldine.
My mind is made up, Kippen, and now it is time for you to continue with the task of Lord Elrond of Rivendell has set before you. To gather more of the Dunedain to swell the ranks of the Great Company as it travels south to the aid of Aragorn. Your next journey should take you to Esteldine, the hidden encampment of the Rangers in the North Downs. Halbarad will surely wish to travel south with the Great Company, but he is often away from Esteldine. Speak with the Ranger Dervan instead, and he will tell you where Halbarad may be found. Dervan is often at the center of Esteldine, seeing to the general defense of the people who live in the North Downs. Alright, so let me actually travel to Esteldine with my muster skill, but this is going to be a pretty good stopping point. So I hope you're enjoying the season here. Well, it's not really a full season yet. This is kind of an inter-season, few slews of episodes. But it's pretty fun doing the epic storyline, excuse me. So, thanks for watching. See you guys on the next episode.